Alrighty. Looks like we're going. So basically what I'm going to do today, guys, is I have a little list in front of me that I'm not going to show you guys, but it is I believe I can bring it up, a document that I'm using, a Word document of like a shot list, basically. And what I'm going to create using a frame-by-frame layer in here in Moho is just a quick storyboard that I can pick the timing and stuff for this music video shot by shot, so I can have it approved by the client. I've been given permission to show things as long as I'm not like playing the video, showing the music, and so forth. So what I'm doing here is I've already just added a frame-by-frame layer. If you don't know how to do that, you just go up here to add a layer, the little plus icon here, and just drop down here to frame by frame, and you'll just get a layer just like this. I renamed mine to frames, and it'll basically make a collection in here of every one of your frames as like its own separate drawing. Don't worry about that now, because we're just going to make like literally scribbly, stick figurey, bad looking drawings to just kind of map out what the shots are going to be. So in advance I can have the client say, nah, do that from a different angle, because if I do the whole shot, even just, you know, well drawn, even if it's not colored, finished, or whatever, and then they want to change the angle, it's a whole day's worth of work or more lost. So it's better just to scribble it down and say, use that shot, don't use that shot, make this from above instead of below, or whatever it is. So with that, I'm just going to grab my freehand tool. We're just going to draw like so. And I'm just going to use just the standard line width, etc., whatever it is I've got. First shot is supposed to be snow falling over mountaintops and trees. So literally, I'm going to come in here and kind of sketch myself out, you know, some treetops, maybe a little mountain here running in the back, or, you know, what have you, whatever. You can put some tree-ish kind of stuff here. See, it's not about what it is, it's just conveying the idea. So you get the idea, I hope. I'm going to put little, you know, dots. We could even do this kind of thing. We can make separate symbols and copy and paste them on there if you want. But this just gives the client the idea that, okay, this is snow falling. I'm going to put a little arrow. I can even write, you know, snow with my horrible doctor script here. Falling. I'm sure I'll misspell everything. Okay, good enough. Snow falling. These can be, you know, as detailed or not as you want. These are trees, in case that is not clear. You can, I put 2 R's in tree. Trees, you get the idea. Trees. Okay. Pin's being difficult. So you get the idea. This could be the opening shot. And that starts on my good old frame 0. If I want to move that, though, to, you know, come in later or wherever it's going to be, you can. But that kind of needs to be there because it is your starting frame. Now if I want to add another shot in here, let's say, and it's not timed yet, it will be, because I will eventually pull the song in here. You won't hear that, but I'll put the song in here and then adjust the keyframes timing wise to go with whatever part of the song they're supposed to be on, which we won't worry about that in this video, but you'll get the idea. Anyway, so the next shot, we just come over here to this little plus button right here and click on it, and it's going to give us a new frame right here on frame 24 that we were on for the next drawing. So this is going to be an aerial view of a Norman Rockwell type town, and I think what we had planned, I'd been given an image, so basically it's going to be sort of this sort of like 3/4-y kind of layout, aerial looking down on this sort of square. You know, you can have houses here, or you know, buildings, or whatever we're going to have. You know, and put a little door indication, and this is just all indication, you know what I mean? So you get your stuff like so, looking at the roofs and whatever this is going to be, blah blah blah, right? These are all the little houses, really badly done, but it's about giving the impression of, you know, what's supposed to be. So something like this. This will be roofs, you know, essentially here, and these will have to do this kind of thing of whatever these buildings, houses, or whatever are over on this side. So just to kind of give that impression, I can go in here and just kind of erase some of that out if need be, so it's not so confusing. And this is important, like especially if you're working for a client, to make sure you're as direct and explanatory and all that upfront, transparent all the way through. You know, if you can't do something, say I can't do that. If you can, but it's going to take a lot more time, or time equals money, say that. You know what I mean? Don't pretend, oh, that'll be fine, and then sit here and worry as the world, you know, crumbles down around you, what you're going to do now that they changed their mind. That is not how you handle that. Trust me, I know that from experience. I'm very direct, almost to a point where people get a little, you know, think I'm being kind of rude about it, but you kind of have to be somewhat rude to be direct. It's a little tip from, you know, the most charming man on the planet. Kidding, obviously, because that is the opposite of what I mean. So I'm just kind of making some lines to understand that this is the shape of, say, these roofs. I'm just going to write roofs, you know, so that's understood. I don't know why this pin is working kind of slowly. Roofs. And there'll be, you know, more roofs or whatever here. We can put like a Christmas tree, you know, large Christmas tree that they all Dores dance around, and everyone knows what that means that's ever seen the Grinch. The little star on the top even. And this, like I said, it can be this bad because you need to get this done quickly. I need to get this done quickly so that we can begin more of the real work. I'm already started, of course, designing characters and different stuff like that, but the storyboard basically needs to get figured out right away, so you know what shots are going to be in there and what they need to be and all of this good stuff. So this is like the land. It's going to be a skating rink. I don't even care, but you know, you can have more house roofs or whatever, you know. I'm just going to put more. This thing gets really weird sometimes. More stuff. I'm trying to spread the zoom with my fingers. That is not how that works. I'm going to check my freehand options and make sure things are not too... for this, I'm going to turn off my smoothing as well, because it'll actually make this work a lot faster and better. More stuff here. It does try to smooth to some degree, but it's not used to me typing little letters. I could text write that, which would probably be a smarter idea, because that's just really fugly. Let's go ahead and erase that because of that fact. I'll show you what I mean if you want, because Moho can do text as well. Let's go ahead and find where that is, because my brain is completely... Oh, you have to put this on frame 0, don't you, to carry it through. So never mind. This is why I was writing it, now that I remember. I never understood that about frame by frame, but that's, you know, why can't you have text on one frame different from another? It just doesn't work that way. So we'll just go ahead and write it back, you know, here. More, you know, houses, I guess I'll put for now. Buildings. Buildings. There we go. In my chicken scratch serial killer capitals and whatever, swapping in and out. Okay, so there's that. This just gives the impression of what it is. This is the tree. Can't write worth anything this morning. I don't know why this pin seems to be a little strange. Probably I'm not pressing hard enough. So that's shot 2. So I'm just going to put 2. Go back to shot 1, which is over here on this frame, and we could put 1. And now the next shot is going to be the client singing. You know, the artist is going to be singing, so we need to come over here to our little plus sign and add a new frame. And generally, you know, I've had her in other videos kind of in the center when it needs to be and all of that. The next 3 shots, I guess, the next 3 lines of the song are going to have her just be singing these songs. So this is going to be basically held out for however much time that needs to be. So this will be, let's say, her in the center of the frame here. I'm just going to make obviously a representation, you know, of somebody, like so. That's her name, Fawn. So she'll be singing here. And then eventually, maybe for the next shot, we sort of slide her out of the way or to the side and show this breeze blow through, which might be kind of cool. So we're going to take this frame and I'm going to duplicate it now. I don't know what the background of this is going to be. But I'm going to copy that frame. I'm going to come over here to 72 now, and I'm just going to paste it in to where it's going to be the same frame. And I think what I'm going to try and do here as well is just kind of grab all these points and move them over. And it's probably just going to pop from this to this. Yep, it does. There is a way we can slide that over as well. And I think what I want to do is not do that. Well, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it because this is just going to be the animatic. This is not, definitely not anything with finished animation. So I'm just going to say move. And then this wind, I'm just going to indicate it this way. Kind of like that Rankin Bass, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer kind of feel. I think that would be so cool if we could, you know, do this, but that's not what, I don't think that's what the client wants. So, and this is going to be the wind, moves in, you know, comes this way. And you can use colors to do this, whatever, just sketch it in black and white. It's very, very simple. That's the whole point. So we start off here, we pop to her, and then she slides over, and then boom, we have the wind that comes in. We could continue this shot and she moves all the way out. We follow the wind to you know, the trees, or we could just cut to the trees. Maybe we follow the wind to the trees. So we're going to go on another frame and create it, and I'm just going to take this same wind idea, you know, kind of thing. And we're going to make some trees here, obviously really badly, you know, storyboardy kind of stuff. Really bad. It's like I've never done art in my life. This kind of thing. These will be the trees. Tree and tree. You can see no time spent on the art of this because this is about the idea. These are going to be sort of rocking back and forth. So I'm going to do like this kind of an indicator. Just slightly, you know. I'm going to put rocking, not like rocking out, but, you know, rocking back and forth. Okay, R-O-C-K-I-N-G. Okay, the next shot, and this is how fast I do it. Just go through this one at a time. And then you can change by sliding these. You can move these back and forth to change the timing. Right now, they're going to start on this, and it's just going to go, and it's going to switch, 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 and switch. So that's how fast. And then when you put the music in, you can slide these keyframes into where they match the music cues. So, and a lot of times I'll throw the music in here and do it with it, and draw it as it comes even, but this works just the same. It's just that I have to move a lot more of them over time. But you can actually marquee select these if you need to move 3, 4, 5 at a time. It makes it so much easier. So music in the trees, and now people stop to help those left behind. So show a boy turning around to help an old lady across the snowy street. Not as easy of a shot as it sounds. We could break it up into multiples, which would look more interesting and actually be easier to animate. So we have a boy running, and then there's an old lady sort of walking at the same time, sort of behind him. Then we cut to a shot of him turning around and looking, and then getting a face. Then we cut to the wide shot again of him running up to the lady. Cut to another shot of her looking up like she's surprised and then smiling, and then cut to another shot of him helping her across the street. So in this one, let's just go here, I guess. We're going to add a new frame. And see, thinking it out that way just breaks it down. And this way I'm not having to do a ridiculously complex rig for 2 characters all in the same shot. There's no reason to anyway. It's more interesting to see this broken down in over multiple shots, as though like an expensive movie would have multiple camera setups. If you just did it in one shot, it's actually harder to do, but it seems more boring, you know? So I figure, you know, if we have the old lady kind of here, maybe she has a cane or a walker, but I think a cane looks a little more classical. And we have the little boy kind of like, you know, he's running. Let's just say he's a big, tall football player boy. And he's running this way. This is the worst sketch ever. Okay, and this is like the street, you know, crossing basically. And he's running, you know, this way. And then we cut to a new shot. We're going to have him moving this whole way. And then I'm going to put running. This is so bad, my writing. Hope you can figure it out. Okay, now we move to the next shot. And we're going to come back to this one, so you'll see we can copy and paste this. We're going to go to the next shot, which is going to be like a close-up on the boy turning. So I'm going to make like a directional arrow kind of showing that he's turning his head, and we're going to kind of look at his shoulder here maybe, and or something of him turning, his eyes sort of looking, you know, this way more. It's awful. And he's a little bit sad about it. Maybe give him a little bit of a cap or something on here, you know, for the heck of it. His ear. Obviously, it's not going to be drawn like, you know, like this. But he's going to stop and see, you know, this woman back there and be all like, oh, man. So I'm just going to put boy looks back. And because he very much dislikes old people, he's going to go back and kick her cane out from under her. Kidding. But he's going to look back. Drawing text for some reason is hard, even if I turn off my smoothing. It's kind of weird. So it looks back, and so now we're going to get another shot of the street right here. So I'm going to copy that frame. I'm going to paste it here, and in this version, we're going to take the boy dots. First of all, we're going to get rid of this arrow. We're going to take this and get rid of this because that direction is no longer needed. We're going to take the boy's dots though, and I'm going to move those as though he's partially across the street, but we're going to flip him to where it looks like he's turned around. So we just got to take that and do this. And so now when we're deselected on all this, you know, it will get on a different tool. Anyway, that will be him running back. So I need to draw, there it is, draw a little arrow here, you know, runs back. Basically, he runs back to her. So it's going to go from here, the wind, the kids running across the street. He stops and goes, oh, wait a minute. Maybe she will buy me a chocolate bar if I help her. And then he runs back that direction. And then when he gets up to where she's at, which we're going to copy this one again and show the progression here. We're going to grab his, well, let's just do all of this. And we're going to move him over. He runs back to her. Now we're going to cut to yet a new shot. So we're going to add another one here. It's a brand new shot. This will be the sort of the old lady here, you know, looking up like, oh, really? You know, maybe she has a little hair bun going on here or something. This is just to indicate horrible artwork, not artwork at all. And maybe we get his shoulder, and maybe his head is here, kind of you know, showing that he's there you go. He gets a little thing, and you know, he's here. We're looking over his shoulder. OTS is the way you abbreviate that. And she's like, oh, so surprised woman is surprised. So I didn't get a lot of practice in writing. I had a stroke about 1.5 years ago, and so my writing, I have not been able to practice my penmanship. So that looks horrible. So woman is surprised, and so from there, you just kind of skip along here, Cassidy, and we'll worry about the timing later. The boy smiles at her, so now we're going to make another new frame of that. So he's going to be like same boy. I'm just going to draw his head first so we know where it's going to kind of be in the frame. She can be partially in, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but you know, he's going to smile like he's a very kind young man lending a hand. You know, he has no neck. Who needs a neck in Christmas stories? That's what I always say. So that is there. You know, he's got his little hat on. Boy smiles. Come on, pen, what are you doing? Okay, so that's that shot. Now we're going to cut back to the street shot again of him helping her across the street. So let's go back to the very first one where he's sort of running away. And now we're going to copy that one. We're going to go back to kind of the end of this, paste it in there, and on this one, we'll change this running word to maybe helping. And we'll get rid of, we can leave the arrow, but now we're going to grab his points and sort of move this sort of in combination with her, like he's maybe helping her. And I'm thinking I'm going to make that just a bit bigger so you can understand she's smaller. And this is him helping her across the street. So, helping. Cross. You want this to be clear enough your client understands what you mean by it. So the timing is totally wrong on all this, but you get the idea here that, you know, we have the breeze, we have the thing, and her, and then the wind, and the trees, and then the running, helping, oh, looking back, going and getting her, turning, and going back. Perfect. All that needs to just be spread out a bit. I'm going to zoom out slightly. Now the timing, like I said, is going to completely change once we get this actually in here. Which we're not going to do on camera, of course, because I've been asked not to share the music until it releases, obviously. So I'm just going to make these have more space. Now you can select all these, and if you hold down Control and move, I'm sorry, is it Control or Alt? Let's try Alt and move. Something like this. Maybe it is Control. I don't know why this isn't working. Shift. One of these, pretty sure it was Alt. You can click and stretch the, maybe it was Control. Yeah, the Control. So you click on it. You can, gosh, Control, click, drag. It's not working. You are able, I don't know why this isn't working, guys, to click and drag. That's just moving. Maybe it's a combination. No, I'm pretty sure it was Alt, though. You can click and drag and get it to scale. There we go. Very hard to, you have to zoom in a little bit, and you can get these to scale out proportionally, like the actual will move slower, you know, from that point. So anyway, he runs back. Okay, so let's try this again. The wind, the trees. Okay, and let's get those spread out more because we need these to sort of play out slower, at least. Gosh, I'm not zoomed in enough is what it is to actually click on these and move them. So, but anyway, so we get that trees. Then we see the kid running. Then we see him look back. Then we see him go back. Then we see him. Oh, hang on. You got to set my end frame much farther out. So I'm just going to go and set the end frame to, I don't know, 10,000. That way we don't have to worry about that. So here, he runs. He looks back. He goes back. He gets to her. We see her face look up. We see him acknowledge. Then we see him turn and help her across. And I think we should get another little shot here. So I'm going to duplicate this last one. Control C, Control V, right to here. I'm going to go ahead and spread that one a little farther out. And we're going to come in and we're going to take the two of them and this arrow, I guess. And we grab that last dot, and I didn't mean to. Hang on. Zoom in. Let me just move this dot. It doesn't even need to be in the way. But we're going to grab these here, these points. And then we're going to move those over just for this frame, obviously. So we can see him starting to help her across the street to a degree. It doesn't have to be very far. In fact, oops, we can probably even get rid of those, but it's fine. No one's going to care. This is just for the client to approve. As far as, oh, come on, where's that point? Let me get here and say you, Mr. Point. Come on, get off of there. What's going on? You don't want to select that. I want to select this point only. Thank you. Just wanted that out of the way. So anyway, you get the idea that he's going to look. She's going to be there. And it's going to go from here to here. Evidently, I moved the wrong one. Cool. So let's go and swap these. So I'm just going to cut this one. So Control X. We're going to put it here, Control V. And then we can take the one that's correct. I'm getting a little tedious. This is getting a little tedious. We can take the one that's correct, put it in front of the other. So now we get this, this, then that, and then that. So we can see it actually, kind of a little animatic of the animation. Cool. All right. So with that, let's go back to something I can handle looking at. So there, and so on. So the next thing, it says her singing. So we're going to have that for a bit. Let's go back and find our singing frames. Just this one here. So I'm going to copy this. This is going to go next. So we're going to say, yep, this is her singing for the next two lines. Then we need a Santa Claus. I don't know what he's doing. So let's go ahead and throw in another frame here. I'm going to make a really bad Santa. Not the one from the movie, that movie, but I'm just going to make a central image of a big fat dude with skinny feet. Whoops. That was horrible. The whole thing is horrible. I mean, like I said, I'm just kind of, you know, making a approximate. What the heck? I draw way better than that crap. All right, so I'm just going to make a circle, make some, you know, an idea of an arm, of a hand, you know, the beard, some little eyes, maybe a mustache. Anyway, you get the idea. This is supposed to be a Santa-like dude. I'm going to put Santa. I know she's going to laugh at this, but that is cool. So this is Santa. I'll do some live drawing of this stuff too, so that, you know, look at my other videos. This is not how I do final animation. So with that, let's see, Santa Claus for the next two lines. Okay, so now this is going to be the chorus. In the sky is a shining light. So Bethlehem and a star shining bright above it. And then we have Bethlehem with the star shining bright over a manger. Now the manger, I believe, is the thing that Jesus was in, and I think the stable is what people usually call the manger, but either way, because it's a manger filled with hay, not a stable filled with hay for horses to eat, but they actually put horses in the little bed, which is called the manger. Either way. So this is going to be Bethlehem and then the stable. So we're going to start with the Bethlehem town with the star above it. We're going to add a new frame. A really badly drawn sort of town. I'm just going to do kind of like a, this kind of thing to show sort of an approximation of a townscape. And then this will be our star. Gosh, Sean, come on, you can do better than this. So star. I don't know why I cannot write or anything today. Star. I'm going to say Beth. Him. Close enough. Okay, and this is going to either, I think, should be in a silhouette on this one. Kind of a thing. Okay. And then, yeah, see, it's trying to smooth my stuff, even though I have smoothing turned completely off. It's probably this point reduction that's really probably making it slow down. But whatever. Okay, so Bethlehem, and then we're going to get the stable. This will probably fade out, and maybe we'll move in from the side and see the stable, because I don't want it to just pop from this to another thing with the star right in the same place. It's going to be kind of weird. So maybe the star could be a little off to the left here, and then over the stable it's perfectly centered. We'll find out. So I'm going to add another frame, and then we're going to go ahead and put this stable, which I have already basically mapped out. It's going to be kind of with the boards like this kind of deal with the little roof. There's going to be the manger here. Maybe, I don't know if Mary and Joseph are in here. I don't think the baby would be in there by itself, so probably you get the idea. There's going to be some, I don't know, some stuff here and there, maybe some trees. Olive trees, I think, existed over there at that time, so, or still do, thousands of years, they say. So this is going to be the star up here again. And this is going to be, M and J and J. J2. J Junior. Okay, so with that, now we have that, and then now we need show 3 wise men traveling towards the star on 3 camels. 3 figures, 3 animals, all at once in the same shot. Fun. So what we may do is have them stop, look at the star, and then take 1 or 2 steps. I'm not going to, maybe, it depends on what we really want to do, but it would be better to show a far shot, then a close-up shot of one looking up. Maybe they look at each other, then a far shot of them walking some more. I think that's what I'll do. So in this one, we add another frame, and I think we might do another silhouette. It's possible. The star can be over here. There's another little silhouette. Maybe the town is back over here now. Blah, 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 blah. B for Bethlehem. And then now we have maybe our camel lords walking here. This is the camel, of course. Obviously, with the dude on it. And then I'm going to copy this bit here, paste it again, move it forward, paste it again, and move it forward. Genius, right? Okay, so with that, we've got the 3 camel guys walking in this shot. Now we move on, and this shot's going to be repeated as well as they walk away. And to do that, I'm just going to copy this, put it farther down the line, paste it in, and on this one here, if it can let me select it, there we go, and come on, there we go. On this one, we're just going to grab the camels. We've already got him, I'm going to see about moving this line down real quick just to get it out of the way momentarily so I don't drag all those points. We're going to grab all this and then I'm going to move it over as though they are continuing along, and we'll take our original line here, which I can do by selecting that. Come on now, dude, grab the line. There we go. And now we'll move it back up to where it looks like they're on it. So basically it's going to be a continuation of that shot, but in between I want to do a shot of like the two guys kind of looking at each other, or two of the guys, or maybe even all three, who knows. But they're not going to have full body rigs. They're only going to be like mid-chest up, which will save, you know, a ton of, well, time, but also mainly okay, why don't I have the oh, here it is, have the option of it'll save time and rigging and everything else, but it'll also be a more correct shot. So I'm going to have, you know, one guy here kind of like this, mid-chest up. He's going to be like so. His arms will be down here, you know, he'll be like holding the reins or whatever of this thing. You know, he's got his, I think they have turbans, and he'll be looking up at this, up here. He's looking up, right? He's got a beard and, you know, whatnot going on. There's going to be another dude a little farther back over here. That looks way closer. We could also copy and paste him in. But I'm just going to draw a little simple version of another dude kind of over here, a bit smaller, also looking up. You know, he's also seeing this thing, also bearded, probably with a turban as well, like this kind of thing. Let's give him more of a chest this way. We can even, where's my eraser? Certain shots I throw a little more, not really detail, but more intention in, obviously. There's that. That looks like a halo, I know, but here we'll just give him a more of a turban-esque vibe. And then there's going to be maybe a third guy here in the back that's, and then Melchior spoke. He'll be back here, and, you know, he's also kind of looking up with a less distinctive features now. Sorry, bro. And so they all look up, then they can look at each other. We can copy and paste this frame to show a little bit of animation if we even want to. So I'm going to copy that one, come here a little bit farther down the line and paste it again. And on this particular one, then I can take the features and move them around or whatever we want to do. So simple stuff, man, simple stuff. Let's grab the eyes and nose this way, even maybe the mouth scribbles, because they are quite the scribbly things. And I'm going to see if it'll let me just sort of grab that. That's fine. And then we can sort of shift these over to show that they've moved. I know it's awful, but that is kind of the way this goes. And I'm going to squish the eye so it's, you know, more like that. You get the idea. The idea. I said it. We'll do the same thing with this side. I'm just gonna click on these lines where it selects the full, you know, little feature, if you could call it that at this point. Come on now, where are you? Grab the lines, and then the mouth, however that needs to be done. We'll move it over to give the impression that he's looking this way now. And if you want, we can go in and just still squish this one down as well. It's not necessary to really flesh this out because this is just conveying the idea that his head has been turned. There's no animation here, obviously. So that kind of thing. We could even flip the nose over to where it looks a little more like, you know, he's turned this way now. So back to the pencil so we can see it. Yeah, so it'll go from there to this to that, then the look, yeah, and then back to that, and then that's where they move off. So let's get the direction happening so they keep moving. So keep going, stop. Okay, keep. keeping on moving. You get the idea, I hope, you know. So they keep moving. All right, cool. So with that, like I said, timing comes later. Because the Savior show manger with parents and baby. So this is going to be the closer up of the stable. So we're going to add in another frame there, and let's just kind of zoom in a bit. And this is going to be like the same thing, but close up. Let's just call this the manger here. The baby is here, and then we can put the Joseph. I think he's on this side. We stuck him everywhere we wanted to when we were playing Star Wars figures with the Nativity set. You know, we'd pretend he was a Jedi, like Ben. If we didn't have the Ben figure, we'd use the Joseph figure from the Nativity. It worked the same, just couldn't raise his arms. Anyway, he's there. He's looking at the baby. You know, all is good. I think he has a little head thing on too. There's the mom here. She's like, "Oh, look at my baby," and that's, you know, her. So we're gonna go M. We're gonna go with J here, and you know, I think there's some animals in here at some point, still already, I should say. So yeah, that's that. That's all you need to kind of be indicating what's going on here. And then on here, this shows the three wise men looking up at the star in the sky. But we already did that. Okay. So that was just for traveling. So this is another looking up at the stars. So maybe they show up, and we just see a shot of them looking, and this isn't looking up at the stars yet. So now, because it doesn't look like their eyes are all that much up anyway, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to, and maybe they need to be standing there in this shot. I don't know, but we'll paste this one in again, like they're walking up, but we'll redo the eyes where they feel a little bit more uppy looking. I think that's a thing. So we'll just have all their eyes up, you know. Just make all these guys have no eyes and make them just the creepiest wise men ever, or something like that. Let's just get rid of this. Come on now, why isn't my eraser? Oh, I knocked it down to 0 by accident. Blink. Blink. Erase part of the head too. Why not? Okay, so this will be with raised eyebrows, so they can look upward more easily. It's going to be goofy, I know. They're looking up. He's tilting his head back there. This one will be the same way with the, you know, the eyes raised up here. Okay. They look up. Like I said, this just gives me a guide as to what happens when and what to swap out and how it changes. This will actually be exported and put into the editor. You know, I use DaVinci Resolve, and that'll be brought into there, and then I will replace each shot as I create each shot in Moho, and just replace them so I can keep tabs on what's left to do and, you know, what they need to look like. So they look up, and then we show everyone gathered around the manger looking at the baby. The baby's like, "What the heck are you looking at?" Bring the star into full screen. So that could be an actual, like, rise up from that shot to above to the manger, and then up to the star. I think might be kind of cool. So let's go back to the everybody around the baby thing here. I'm gonna copy this frame, then we're gonna adjust it. So I'm just gonna go to here, something, select this one. If it'll let me, there we go, copy. We're gonna put that back over here, paste. And in this version, I am actually going to grab all this stuff. We're gonna shrink it down a bit so we can see the wise men and everybody at the same time. And then I'm going to draw them back in here. So we'll have, you know, one dude kind of like this, looking down, like going, "Oh, nice baby." You know, here's his little turban or whatever. There's going to be another one pretty close here, I guess, maybe even next to Mary, looking over like this. This one's a little, you know, more toward the front maybe. And then we have Bob, maybe right here, kind of in front of the sheep now. And he's looking back there, goes, I brought the myrrh, whatever that is. Okay. And we can erase some of this. Okay. And then the camera will go up. So I'm going to copy this. What in the world just happened? Oh yeah, we get the guys looking up. Then we get everybody around. And then we're going to copy that frame, paste it in here. And then we're going to start moving all these people down. And we're going to see more of the stable or the unstable, however you see things. And we're going to pull that like so. And I'm just going to start drawing a piece of the stable here just to kind of indicate the fact that we're going up. So I'm going to make, you know, an arrow that says cam up. And then there's going to be like the barn, you know, kind of the boards here kind of thing. This will go something like this or however I've got them laid out. You know, they're going to see that cam up. And then eventually we get past that roof in another shot. There we go. We're going to move everything down again. Yes, this is the best way to do this. Trust me. I'm a Italian. Okay, and we're going to take all of that, move it down to kind of like this. The camera's still going up, obviously, and we're going to make our sort of the roof at this point. The star is going to start to come into view here, right? We're going to duplicate that frame again. Let me make sure I've got that here. And we're going to paste that in somewhere like here. And on that frame now, we have to zoom out, grab everything again. Come on, toys. Here we go. Whoops, didn't get everything. We're going to do that. We're going to move everything down to kind of centrally locate the star. We can even make it get bigger, however you want. We're just going to make sure it says bring the star into full screen kind of thing. So I think I will maybe zoom in on it, something like this. We could zoom in on it later more if we want. I don't know how that is going to wind up working out in the end, but that's the idea here. So if we were to go back, obviously the timing is completely wrong. It's just going to go from that shot to that one, to that one, to that one. The trees, and then helping the old lady, turning and looking, going back for her, getting her, helping her across the street. Oh, yay! Grabbing her, smiling, and helping her across the street. And then they cross, and then we get singing again, and then we get Santa, and then we get the Star over Bethlehem, and then we get the thing, and then the three wise men, and then they look at each other, and then they keep going, and then we get to the stable, and they see it, they look up, and then everybody's in the stable, the camera goes up, the camera goes up, the camera goes up to the star, and that's where we're at. Okay, cool. Now this second verse is time to pray. So a family of 4 praying at the side of the bed. Do they all sleep in the same bed? Probably not. And I'm thinking maybe 2 different shots, or the family's praying before they put the kids to bed. I'm trying to think about this in the most correct way here, like practical and so forth. I don't know if we want to do the outside of a house, maybe, to show it's modern day. That's what I think. So I'm going to show like a house, you know, that's kind of in the same town with those same kind of, you know, Christmassy kind of trees next to it, kind of a thing. Maybe a little one over here, right? And then the house, something like that. Really bad, ugly house. Door, window, etc. You get the idea. Okay, so house. Imagine that. It's keeping me from making certain marks because it's trying to reduce points. All right, house. Just have a house shot from the outside. Maybe we'll even tip down from the star in the last shot. Like it goes up, we time lapse, it comes back down onto this house. So that's a thought. And then we jump to the inside of this house now. And it's going to be, let's say, the room like this. Here's a bed. I got some pillows, headboard, whatever it is. Bed, this kind of thing. It's a bit dynamic. It's a heck of a wide angle lens. Maybe, you know, we have Timmy praying over here, you know, with his hands. That is the worst. Hang on. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. It looks like he died. There we go. Some legs on the bed. Maybe that'll help raise it up off the floor. We get Timmy's legs here. He's like crouched down. This is his supposed body, his head, some arms that look like he's picking his nose or something. I'm not sure. Let's just try to fix that a little bit better. Maybe that was better. I don't know. So there's Timmy, really ugly body Timmy. That's what they called him the rest of his life. It was very sad. And then we've got little Sally or whatever. She's, let's make like a little dress kind of thing here. And she is also with giant arms. She had a problem with her weight all her life. And we're going to say, you know, Timmy. Now let's just do boy and girl. Boy, girl. Okay. They're praying. Looks like they're hoarding food next to the bed, but praying. Okay. Something like that. And then maybe have the mom and dad just sort of standing here. I'm not sure. They're praying too, though, because that's, you know, this is a family that prays together, stays together. So we'll just put some arms, you know, looking like they're picking their noses as well. So we'll have, you know, dad kind of facing mom to make sure she's not, you know, cheating on the prayers, that she's definitely doing it as well. Okay, so family is praying. Awful. Okay, then we come back to singing again. Let's find the singing frame here. We need to check back in here. It's that time of year. There we go. Copy that one. We're going to move forward until the praying and then the pasting. There we go. Singing again. Singing again. Singing, singing, singing. And this one is a man going to work smiling. This is such a lie, no offense. No man goes to work smiling. No, I'm kidding. Let's go ahead and add a new thing. I don't know. Is he driving going to work? Does he grab his briefcase and walk out the door and then drive? But it's all through this area is all I have. So I'm gonna have him walking out his door and getting into his car, because I don't know how to show he's going to work. Maybe he does his tie, then he leaves. It could be either one, I guess. But he could be going anywhere, right? Let's just do, maybe there's a mirror here, like this. Mirror. Let me just be real blatant about that. Maybe I should write it backwards. Mirror. Just do a little, like, you know, here's the sink or something, right? And he's in front of the mirror. Let's make his hands up, maybe like this. Play my song. Okay, so we're gonna go tie. like he's straightening his tie. Just sort of make his really bad body. There's a Chris Farley skit where they talk about that. Okay, so ties tie. It's going to be the hardest thing in the world to animate, probably, unless I do it real simple. So he ties tie. Then we'll have another frame where he is like coming out the front door of the house. And this will probably be the same dude, I guess, as the family, right? So it could be the same house. Instead of pasting that or adding a new frame, let's just cut that one, go back to the house right here, copy that one. There's no car in that shot, but no one cares. It's just a storyboard. We're going to paste it here. I'm going to make a little bad car. That's like kind of sitting here. Probably. I'll go back and erase some lines and so forth here in a second. So let's just say this is the car. Really bad car. It's the idea of a car. Y'all shut up. Okay. Something like this. There's a window back here. Some lights. You know, the wheels, probably good. That help understand what it is. I'm going to erase just a little bit so it's not as horrible and ugly and confusing, even though it will always be horribly and ugly and confusing. Let's just do like a 0.01 for the eraser here. Maybe even a 0.1 would have been fine. I'm just trying to make this a little less crazy lines here. What am I looking at? Yeah, I know. Okay, so that's a little better. So you have a car. The dude comes out of the house, you know, kind of walks to the car. Maybe his briefcase. Yeah. Leaves. Not leaves like falling from trees leaves, but he leaves. He. Wait, this pen is being weird about how it does that. So he leaves. Cool. And then verse 2, I don't have any more of this. I'm sure it has been uploaded into my folder. But this basically is how you would do real scratchy, stiffy, ugly storyboards. Not stiffy. Scratchy, ugly, stiff storyboards. Stickmen and whatnot. And then you would bring in your audio file and just drop these keyframes where they go. Cool. All right. Thanks for watching. That will be all for today, or for now, and we'll get back to more of this and do more that I'm allowed.